Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video of My Creative Life with Kel Sweetie, where we read books, we make art, and we get into the holiday spirit. We're nearing November. We are like you may be seeing this. I'm still going back and forth on it. I'm gonna say it on camera. I am going back and forth currently as I'm filming this because we have not hit October. We are so close. I have to make room in my office, and this being behind me is a real downer for the Halloween season. So you'll either be watching this as we near like the last week of October, or you are currently watching this and we are now in the first week of November and in full swing of Christmas. I'm going back and forth on it, and I truly don't have enough hindsight currently to figure out when this is going to drop. We are filming this so early, but considering I have a partner who absolutely loves Christmas and I myself also love the holiday, I am one of those few Halloween people who leave a little room for Christmas. Now, it's not an all year thing. I'm not one of those people. There are plenty of people who are those people. We swap places, but I do show some respect for Christmas time. And I love a vintage type of Christmas. As you can see here, this is a huge haul. I have been collecting these things over, I want to say, the last couple of months, probably ever since I was officially Halloween decor hunting. I've even been hunting on the side for some Christmas items. Not as strong, but we have been doing it mainly because I have to figure out my theme plan for Christmas this year. Every year I've not done a strong theme for Christmas, and I think that's a little disrespectful to the time of year that I also love just as much. Okay, maybe not just as much, but as Halloween. So today we are going to go over all of this from multiple estate sales, thrifting sales, thrift trips. Some of these are recent from Walmart. And as we speak, Target also has their Christmas on their website. Now, it is not showing up in the stores as I'm recording this. It is the last week of September as I'm recording this. I am positive we'll start seeing it probably midway through October. First week of November, we will probably start seeing the Christmas in Target. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really see too much that I was excited about, but same thing happened with Target's Halloween, and then I saw it in person and I realized I needed a couple of things here and there. So let's get into it because we have a ton to cover. I need to get this out of this office. One, to make more room since we are no longer Halloween decor hunting and now we're holiday decor hunting as I'm saying this. And also they're a bit of a downer to have in my background as I talk about Halloween, and this is looming in the background like Michael you cannot currently see. So let's get into the intro and I'll see y'all on the other side. Here. I'm breaking this down into thrift and estate sale shopping versus big box stores. Some of my bigger items that were here were from big box stores, and I didn't know how to necessarily break this down like how I usually do into different chunks. One, because I've been collecting a lot of this stuff over a good amount of time, so it's starting to blend together what triples from what. As well as the fact that I didn't want to do, here's Santa's and here is, you know, things that are more decorative and here are like our foundation. We're just going to do thrift and estate versus big box stores and just try and move through this as quickly as we can. Shall we? Overwhelmed already by how much is sitting here, but let's just chip away at it. First, I want to be clear that one thing that I have forgotten to do in the past as far as Christmas is concerned is really set a foundation. And this year, while doing all of the Halloween decorating, that was one of the superpowers of setting the scenes that we've been creating here around the house, is creating a foundation. Now, of course, there's garland and pine cones and all of those things that are the foliage and will be used as soon as they start putting that stuff out, and I'll start seeing what they have available. But also, things that are not necessarily Christmas specific, but are still Christmas, are still things that I always say during Halloween, but I don't think that I've taken enough time to approach that in the same way with my Christmas decor, as well as finding things that aren't just Santa's. specific. So I want to start out with a couple of items that I have that are kind of building that scene out and creating kind of that vintage Christmas nostalgia look that I love in all of my Halloween decor. First and foremost, I have these cookie candy canisters that I got from Savers. A majority of these are from Savers, and one of these I found at the Salvation Army. So these were a lot of fun to find, and I think that they were sitting, like, you know, they were charged pretty low, and I think that has to do with the fact that, like, they are those canisters. Why would you want something that's this old to put your candies or anything in? But what I saw, pedestals. As we've talked a lot about, I don't have a figure. Oh, here we go. As I've talked a lot about for the Halloween decor, is that finding pedestals that aren't marketed as pedestals are really something that help for the maximalist look. So for instance, I have one, and I'll show you this in a second. I have this one right here. I put this one right here, and now I put this guy right here. And oh my god, that's so cute. Let's maybe put this little candle stand here. Oh my god, let me put this guy right here. And now we have something of a vignette. I know that some of that isn't as nice looking. And then picture some garland, maybe some bulbs here and there. This is how we build out the scenes. And I'll show you some of these things shortly. But that's what my idea was when I found all of these. I found a grouping of 3. There's 2 here and another one underneath here. So I'll show you them all in just a second. But this one was great. It has this cute little teddy bear on it. It has that great classic red Christmas on it. And then we have this one as well that I thought was adorable. It has this big Santa Claus on the front of it and this really nice little pine cone and bell design across the sides of it. And this, as you saw, was $2.49. I thought that this was just too cute, and I even want to actually show this one facing forward because the top of it is really the star of this one. And then along with that, I also have this one, which I also got from Savers in this grouping. And again, this one, it has really nice sides, so I think it's a toss-up on whether or not I'll display it one way or another. But this one has this great Christmas tree on the front of it, and I'm pretty positive it was in that probably $2.49 range. All of these were put together when I found them at Savers. The last one that I found, I actually got from the Salvation Army. Let's see if I can do this without knocking something down. And it's something that doesn't have that classic Christmas look, which I actually really liked, and I think it's going to work really well in my 90s Home Alone movie watching area. So there's your little sneak peek of one of the themes that'll be happening this year. Me and my partner talked a lot, and I think that having kind of like a 90s Home Alone McAllister type of area maybe around our TV would be something that's really fun. This year, doing the Halloween movie mash area, I just really loved seeing all these different movies and shows that I'll be watching throughout the season, being just around everywhere, and same going for Home Alone because we love the Home Alone movies. So I thought that this really gave that like 90s look. This is from Salvation Army, and it was $4, and it was marked somewhere on here. Yes, 1994, and you can kind of tell from like the colors, this purple and this like green that are, when I first saw it, I thought that it was a Halloween canister, and then I noticed on the front that it was obviously snowing. That wonderful Tootsie Taste gets them all. It is like right there on the front of it, and it's obviously a very Christmas type of canister, and I just thought that was so much fun. And I think that like this is gonna really work because the 90s, of course, was the time of a colorful Christmas. So I think this is gonna work for that area. And again, I'm not putting anything in it, but I think that this will look great as a place to stack all these items. Next, in our conversation of setting the scene, VHS cassette tapes. As y'all know, I love a VHS pedestal, something that, I mean, again, we watch a lot of movies around the holidays of all kinds and shows and everything, and so, you know, again, not a lot of people watch VHS for many different reasons. I know that physical media is getting back in style, but again, that's still DVD and stuff for quality reasons, and VHS cassette tapes, they need a place to live, and why not as decor for your vintage look? I have another one. Oh, here we go. I have collected these, so every time that I go to Savers or a thrift store, I always check the VHS cassette tape area. They've become smaller and smaller because, of course, people don't watch them as often, but I always see if there's like any Christmas classics or any Christmas movies that I think would be great to add to the edition for pedestals. I think that these work so well, and I'm really excited that I found Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I know that this may be something crazy, but while Home Alone, the original film, is the best nostalgia movie as far as Christmas is concerned, as far as watching a movie is concerned, Home Alone 2 is the best in my opinion because of many different reasons. One, I feel like Kevin's traps were so much more deadly in this film and were so much more hilarious once he gets the wet bandage stuck in his uncle's like brownstone and everything, which by the way, like that thing was probably already expensive to try and build out. Once he did all that damage, I know that it was 5 times even more expensive, but honestly, that scene in itself is hilarious. Of course, there are some like, you know, creepier parts, but I also love that it has such a more heartfelt storytelling in Home Alone 2 as opposed to the first one. The first one really focuses on Kevin and the comedy and him being home alone, but they kind of turn the tables on Home Alone 2 in regards to the conversation of homelessness and even being older and like the friendship that he creates with the pigeon lady in the park and being at the opera and stuff. And that conversation I really think was something sweeter than just the one that he has with, I can't remember his name right now, but the snow guy, the older snow guy who's from their neighborhood in the very first one. I really find that it's even more heartfelt in this one personally. And the Toy Story is amazing, as well as all of the scenes in the hotel are just hilarious. So personally, I think Home Alone 2's a better movie to watch, just watching wise. Of course, nothing beats Home Alone 1 as far as the nostalgia is concerned. But I was excited to find a copy of this at my local Savers. I also found, and I couldn't believe that I found it, an extremely good copy of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I had my partner watch this last year and it was hilarious. It's just really funny, and there's so many quotable moments from this movie that are hilarious. I mean, even this cover alone is just fantastic. It's got a lot of sap. So I couldn't believe that I found this, and I snatched it up as soon as I could. It was $2 from my local Savers, and I can't wait to include it in my 90s watch area this year. Next are a couple of another 90s classic, which is The Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Again, a really great film. I mean, a lot of movies I feel like from the 90s are from our childhood, and one thing I think that they did really well in the 90s that they don't do as often, I feel like, in kids' films now, is that there are jokes and moments and scenes and stuff that you should only get when you're older, and you only do get when you're older so that, you know, the parents didn't fall asleep. Now watching this as I'm older, I find this a different level of fun and funny. And I couldn't believe, again, that I found this at my local Savers in a really good condition. I love watching the Santa Claus every year. While I don't watch the entire series, I do really love the first one because I think it's done really, really well. The last two are a couple of classics. I found A Charlie Brown Christmas at my local Savers. And again, really, really great condition. I still can't believe that I found it in such great condition. A lot of these, you know, you find VHS cassette tapes, especially these that have like the paper boxes, and it's a given that you're already assuming it's going to be in horrible condition. Because, you know, it's been sitting in somebody's garage or attic for who knows how long, and rain or water damage. But I couldn't believe that this was in such a great... If you don't remember, I found It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown today, like earlier this year for my Halloween area, and I put that in my 90s book nook, my 90s Halloween book nook. So I'm happy to have this around my TV area as well this year. As well as How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Me and my partner watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version, every year, but also I couldn't just like pass up to this classic of a VHS, especially when I had a Charlie Brown Christmas, and these just went so perfectly together. Again, found it at my local Savers for $2. So I'm pretty much good on VHS cassette tapes. As y'all know, I just love to use them as pedestals. So while I'm not necessarily heavily searching for VHS cassette tapes, I look every time I go to Savers just in case there is a bit of a treasure there and one of the many films that we watched during the holidays somehow on VHS over there. So we're good. We've got like 5 really good classics here, but if I could like find Home Alone 1, that'd be crazy. I'd love to find Home Alone 1. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version, I'd probably pick that up in a second. There could be like, there's tons that I could find, but I always like to check just to make sure. Next, we have a couple of actual pedestals, and these I feel like are homemade, but I'm not certain. There's no, oh, I'm a liar. These definitely aren't homemade because I'm seeing the little mark on them that shows that they aren't. Is this one covered? No. But it is, I wonder what this is at the bottom. See, look. I still like have the tags on them because I haven't presented them to anybody. Okay, sorry. Y'all are seeing me discover that there are these like holes at the bottom of it that I think are to put them on, almost positive, to put them on like your wall. Now here's my thing. I can understand this smaller one because I think that it would be like, oh, you hang your coats on it. This bigger one, I don't know why you would do that. But it's good to know that that's there. I found these both at Savers. They have these great bells on them. And they're like, I thought they were actual pedestals. Now, I don't even know. But I thought they would be perfect. And they were both like different sizes to place things on. And they're actual pedestals, but maybe they aren't even actual pedestals anymore now that I'm seeing that. But I felt like they looked like wooden spools that you put thread on. And I really love that look of it. So this one was $4.49. And this one was $2.49. I think that this was a little steep, but I couldn't just get this one and not get this one because I liked the size of this one too. So got these from Savers. I'm like trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Let's get into some things that I think that's it for things that are pedestals but not actual pedestals. Now let's get into some things that are maybe not Christmas specific but will work for my Christmas themes that I'm having this year. First off, we have this old rusted what is this called? Sifter. It's so old and rusted, you can't even move the handle. That's okay, because I'm not actually using this, of course. There was a little bit of rust that I just got here on my desk. I'm not actually using this, of course. I'm going to dust it off, and it's going to be used as display for my kitchen this year. I am going for a, like, Christmas bakery, old vintage bakery type of look. And I'm going to include some gingerbread, have some crafts coming up for making your own gingerbread houses, because the ones at the store just seem way too cutesy for me. I want something a bit more, I don't know, that kind of reads that you made it or something. But I have that craft coming up. But for the most part, I wanted to use it for that. I feel like it's a great color palette, and I wanted something a little bit more muted and felt like a vintage Christmas. As we look, this year I fell in love with my kitchen shelves, and I want to do the same for Christmas, because I also feel like during Christmas time, I just kind of throw anything up there, but I don't really have a clear concept, and I really want to handle that this year. So I got this from an estate sale recently. They had it for $4 and it was 20% off, and I thought that it would be perfect for the area. Just make sure you have all your tetanus shots. As well, that will be going in my kitchen is this kind of like fruit. I think this was a fruit bowl. I'm going to be honest with you. It has this little thing in the middle of it, so I don't know about that, but it looks like it, and it's like patinaed. And it feels like, I feel like that's actual patina. And it looks so great. I got it at the same estate sale I got that from. This one was $8, but I got it 20% off. So honestly, I don't even think they did 20% off of 8, to be honest with you. But I really love the look of this, and I want to put some fruits, like oranges and stuff. I want to go for like a Victorian. I love a Victorian Christmas, a combination of a 50s and a Victorian Christmas. You're kind of nailing where I'm at when it comes to the Christmas decor. So I thought I'd pick this up. And also, I really loved it to possibly, it doesn't feel like as old as that is, or some of the other items that I got from that vintage estate sale. I think cleaning it off quite a bit and everything, I could use it to like have snacks and stuff in, not necessarily fruit, but things that are like packaged. We have a lot of like crackers and like trail mix packs and stuff, and I just don't like the boxes just sitting up there. And so I'm trying to find better ways to use our shelves all year round, and I think this is something that'll stay out all year round because of that. But for right now, this really works for my Christmas bakery idea that I have going on. And I want to put like maybe a rolling pin in here, things like that. So that'll be for that area. I really needed, I need to quit with candlestick holders because I don't have that many candles. So in all honesty, looking at it all together, I'm like, okay, you need to chill. I went to Savers and I found these great Sears candle holders. I cannot admit, they're these little Christmas trees, and they're pretty heavy, and they're made out of tin, and they're from Sears. And what was crazy is that the person who had these, I don't know if they were collectors or they just wanted to market, but it said bought Christmas just before 1996. I don't know why they would sit there and put that in there. Unless they were maybe collectors or something. I don't know. But this, there's the maker's mark. It was originally $8.99 when it was sold in the stores. I got both of these for $5. And I think they're so, so cute. I really love this look. And again, this will either go on my coffee table or amongst some of my vintage finds that will be happening on my shelves. I'm thinking of my vintage Christmases happening on my shelves, just like how I kind of did my Halloween this year. My watch area will be that 90s Home Alone look. Above my book nook is actually where my Christmas town will be going. And then my kitchen this year will be that bakery Victorian type of look. Again, you can see kind of my thought process and how all of that will kind of look in my Patreon video. But I'm so excited to put these up wherever. I have 4 of them. I thought about just getting one, and I just didn't want to break up the set of having 4. So I got both of them, especially because they were both marked at $4.49. So I'm super excited to see, like, these I feel like will look really great in these. Let's do the last of our candle holders, and that is this classic one that I've spoken about so much so far. And this one, I believe I got from a thrift store. I got from a thrift store while I was visiting Ohio earlier this year, and this was kind of steep. It was for, actually no I didn't. I got this from a thrift store here in LA, and it was a little bit steep, but it was when I first started Christmas decor hunting. You know when you kind of just need to get the ball rolling? And then you're like, okay, let me just buy that. I like it. Let me buy it. And it'll kind of like bring more. It's like when you grab a cart and you put something in the cart. You're like, I kind of like it, but if I put it in the cart, it brings good juju for me to like find plenty of other things. I don't know, the superstitions of thrifting. But I ended up getting it. It was priced at $4, and I still feel like that was a little bit steep for this, to be honest. But I mean, you know, unfortunately, you can't find a lot of brass at thrift stores anymore. At least not in LA, you can't. And I thought I'd just get the ball rolling with this. It is cute. It has this cute little like thumb rest here, and it's just like kind of the perfect little candlestick holder. And I think it'll look really cute in with these candles that I got from the same estate sale. I got a lot of these items from behind me recently. They sold me, I think, for $1 each. And again, both of these are in great condition. This tinsel comes off of it. I think that they just had it on there just to have it on there and everything. But it's really, really great. The look of these candles are amazing. Some of this wax, it's kind of, there we go. I think they put that around there to build it out. So it would, see, look, I'm doing that on camera. But now we've cleaned them. Here is the candles all cleaned up. And they have this really great little ribbon and not tinsel, what is that? Mistletoe type of holly's the word. Holly right there on the candle, and they're a really cute double stack of them. So I'm going to put those in different locations as well. I'm not sure. I have a bunch of white candles, so those of course can go anywhere. Let's just move. Let's do a sweeping motion. Again, I got this from the estate sale recently. This was $5. I got it for the 20% off of that, and it hangs up. It's a little broom, like a little kitchen broom and everything, but it's of course more decorative. I really love the look of it, and it has this cute little pine cone and this bow on it. Okay, that's the thing about estate sales and like vintage stuff. People probably haven't had it up in their houses for decades. collecting spider webs because they never move it because they can't move it. And sometimes you may find a couple of critters in it. That kind of freaked me out. Because I found cobwebs are one thing. Cobwebs that still have their visitors in it are a little creepy. This guy's obviously dead though. Still will be creepy to get him out there. Yeah, but still, really great find. You see, I'm all tentative. Really great find. I just really love how it looks, and I think that it'll look really great hanging in our kitchen. This definitely looks like it's like a kitchen type of broom to go in there. Speaking of brooms, let's get a big one out the way. Another broom I got from, oh no, I've got to put that back on there. But another broom that I got from the estate sale earlier this last weekend, $4. 20% off that. I can't believe this was actually $4. And that other one behind me was $5. I don't understand that thought process, but it's cute. It definitely is Christmassy. I'm looking in the bow if there's any visitors like we found in the last one. But I do love this one. It has this great pompous, whatever it was used for, this broom was really, really great. And it looks handmade personally, but I really love it. And this will be going in our kitchen as well, I believe, hanging. But we will see if that'll end up happening or if it'll go in my vintage Christmas area. But I really love the look of this one. Another great item that I got, and this kind of matches two beautiful brass angel candlesticks that I got last year while I was visiting Ohio. I got this one. This one was from LA. I found this at a thrift store in LA, and I actually think I bought it from the same thrift store that had the pricey candlestick holder. And this one also was a little priced, a little high as well, but I just didn't want to leave it there. I just find these so gorgeous. These brass etched Christmas items, really gorgeous, and they really fit the whole Victorian Christmas look. This was $10, which, a little pricey in my opinion, and for it to also kind of low-key be broken, so it's just basically a figure now instead of a candlestick. Again, we were just getting the ball rolling, but I do love how it looks, and it is gorgeous. Probably be going either near in my vintage Christmas area. I think once I look at some more images of 90s Christmas and specifically the McAllister's house and stuff, I'll get a better idea on whether or not something like this could fit in that area, or if it all needs to go more so in my vintage Christmas area. So let's get into some of the Santas. So I have this great Santa Claus mask that I got from Goodwill. What I loved about it is that it's a dark-skinned Santa. I don't know if it was supposed to be dark-skinned or the painter just, it was too dark or what, but I snatched up immediately because it had this very Victorian Christmas with Italia and bells and all of that natural, the Noche Buena and stuff up there. I couldn't believe that I found this at the Goodwill, and it was for $4.99. I picked it up immediately. It's got some holes, so I'm going to possibly put some wire behind it to hang it up on the wall, but I thought it was just way too cute, and it was one of my first finds of the season at a thrift store. Another Santa is actually one that comes as a couple, and I'm going to be kind of doing a bit of a rework on these to kind of better fit for my household, as we know I love to do, but these were made. I could tell that these were crafted, and I'm a sucker for leaving things like this at thrift stores because they're one of a kind. I've never seen something like this, and they're adorable. These are the types of crafts that I love and are the reason why I collect crafting books from this era, because they just were one of a kind. So it is a Santa and Mrs. Claus basket figure, and these are just really, they're sitting in these little serving baskets, and they're stuffed. It looks like their skin is made out of, they use nylon stockings, and then some of this is just wool for their hair, and then there's some bits and pieces, their glasses are wire. I think that they maybe found some of these picks and stuff to put in their hair. The Mrs. Claus has a bit of a bonnet and everything. She also is just slightly like darker, so I don't know if like that was what was available nylon stocking wise or what. But I do think that it may be easy to color these to make them just slightly darker, so that they fit in my household. I hope because they're adorable. I really couldn't leave them there, and they were $5.49 a piece, and they were just really one of a kind. I fell in love with them, and I went back and forth on putting them back because I wanted to kind of change them up for my whole decor. I couldn't because they just looked way too cool. So I'm so excited. I'm still really excited for these. When I showed them to my partner, he was like, I'm glad that you still picked those up because they look amazing. And I hope you figure out how to like kind of change them so that they better fit like our decor. But like they look so classy. See, like this is what I'm talking about in regards to like, this obviously isn't Victorian, but it's nostalgia based and crafty. And honestly, like again, these are the types of crafts that I love looking up in these books because like no one's thinking of doing this now. So absolutely love them. So excited to find these. This next item I actually found last year, and I've been having it put away until it's appropriate to talk about Christmas again. And it was this wonderful Christmas statue. This is like a music box. And I love these like figures that are molded and painted. Like they just look amazing. If you don't know, last year I got a lot while I was visiting back home in Ohio, a lot of these different types of figures that kind of look like the style of like chalkware Santas. They look really great. They age really well. And as far as me repainting them, they paint very well. So I'll be repainting him and the kids around him as well. But I just love this look of like the Santa with his sack everywhere and like these children below him. There is a little crack on the back side of it, but it's in space where you'll never ever see it. And I thought it was really cute, and it was priced really well being back home in Ohio. So I had to pick him up, but he'll be getting repainted. I found him at Savers recently for $3. He's just this cute little figure, this cute little boy who just has his little package and his horn ready to deliver for the Christmas holiday. And again, that chalkware look, it's just really great. I absolutely love it. Most of my items that are like figure based are probably going to be chalkware items because there's something about them that looks very Christmas. I don't know what it is. It doesn't really read as Halloween in my opinion. And I don't really see a lot of chalkware figures that kind of look like this. But again, they age really well. Like that yellow just patinas for the chalkware. So he was so cute. And at $3, he was actually priced well at an actual thrift store price. Another music box. I got this recently while I was in Ohio, and again, I thought that he was just too cute, sitting there at his little work table with the elves helping him out everywhere, and these little toys at the bottom. I really thought it was cute, and again, it is a little music box that if you turn the bottom hinge of it, it turns around and sings the music and everything. Again, he'll be getting painted, but I thought that this was just way too cute, and again, one of those little chalkware figures that I absolutely love. We're getting close to the end. I'm going to talk about these next ones all together since they're all a part of a group. I found these at Savers in the little baggies area. As I talked about during one of my last Halloween hunting videos that I thrifted, don't sleep on the baggie section. I know up against the wall, a lot of people are like, that's just junk. Nobody wants that. I have found recently so many great items for holiday items in those bags that were hiding away, and one of those things for Christmas were these village houses. Somebody had a huge collection and got rid of it or passed on or whatever, and they had the whole set of these all in a bunch of baggies. Now each one was $4.99 to $4.49, so they were $5 a piece, which each figure that then breaks down to around $2.50 or $2 and some change, you know, whatever the case is. And so that's not bad. I have like I said, I have a Christmas town up on top of my book nook every year, and I really go out. I put like snow up there and the whole nine. It's a lot of fun. And I've really started collecting and finding as many things as I can thrift as far as like actual like Department 56 houses and Max houses. Like I said, this year was my first year actually putting up Max Halloween, and I bought them direct from the from Michael's. I have thrifted basically all of my Christmas houses. It's easier somehow to find them for Christmas rather than Halloween for some reason. I don't know why. But with that being said, and with a lot of them being porcelain or having just like this very specific look, I love getting these smaller houses to kind of create a little bit of like distance and everything. Since it is up on my book nook, it's a little different than when I decorate my Halloween area, which is just one straight line. This, I kind of add boxes to create height for these hills, and I think that these would be perfect to add instead of these like blank white houses that I used to get from Target, to add a bit more to the whole area and the feeling of the town, especially with how vintage they look. These are so cute. They have a bunch of like houses. This one has 2 houses. I don't really want to take them out yet because they're perfect kind of in these bags for me to store away. But these 2 have like 2 houses inside of them. This one looks like it has another, like these all look like houses. I think I have nothing but houses, which is good because that's what I'm looking to put up. Not necessarily, this one I think is like more like a mall type of thing. Instead of like actual, like this is a firehouse and this is a cafe. I want something that just builds out like actual homes. Yeah, and then these all look like houses. So that's a really big house without a house. That looks like that may be a mall. But everything else looks like it's more house. This one has a clock outside. It may be like a town hall situation. See, this looks like that's a shop. That's definitely a shop. But point is, these are adorable, and they're hand-painted like ceramic, which is fantastic. I think that it's going to look really, really great when they're all lined up for my Christmas area. They also have these holes in the bottom of them where you're supposed to put your like little Christmas lights to like light them up. I haven't figured out how to do that yet up on my shelf. I want to see if I can figure it out this year, how to kind of strand some bulbs across that area so that it can light up everything and it kind of be a little bit more magical. But that's for future Kelsey to figure out and see if she can pull off. Till then, we have some great houses to create some dynamic areas in our Christmas town. We're almost done with the estate and thrift sale stuff. Another thrifted item was this grouping of Christmas trees along with this great primitive looking Santa. Both of those came with these kind of like Christmas picks. I'm not certain as to why like these were put on here. I don't think it was on purpose. And I have them just to kind of place in other places in our house. But I loved this little doll. I loved how he still kind of had this like wooden face. So that worked for a lot of my other things around the house. And then we also had this, he's got like this tree in his hand. I don't know if he's supposed to be like moving it back and forth or what. But he was obviously painted and created. And I think at some point something else went in this hand over here, but it's long gone because there's another hole there. But I thought that he looked really cute, and he came packaged with these 2 little woodcut Christmas trees. So I'm guessing they kind of just like, you know, create a little space for them. But I really loved how primitive it looked, and it was like it was handcrafted, and like it's just really cute. I just love the whole theme of it. These were $6.49 as a unit, which I don't think was too bad. Something that is, again, non-traditional, but I really feel like was going to work, especially in my bakery area, was this wire basket that had been patinaed. This was $3, which was a little bit steep, but again, this was bought earlier on when I was getting the ball rolling, and I think that it's like same vein as like what I was showing y'all with the sifter. The patina look is going to look really, and like this wire basket I feel like would work for this like bakery, this old bakery that I'm thinking of. So this is for my decor, even though you're kind of like, that's a wire basket. Our last couple of items as far as thrifting is concerned, and then we're going to move on to our big box stores. First and foremost is this kind of scary but cute rubber Santa mask. So during the 50s and like kitschy Christmas, these were a big hit. They were selling a craft that they had done. This was at a recent estate sale. The older woman was a crafter at some point, and she had an extra of this craft. It says craft novelties, and this was a Santa face. So you were expected to craft with this. And I didn't want the one that had already been crafted. I wanted this one so that I could choose to put it in my craft whenever I get to doing these craft videos for Christmas. And I wanted to be able to paint over it, but have something that felt like it was used to be crafted with, and not simply me taking something apart. So I ended up buying one of these. They sold it to me for only $1, and I think this would be a lot of fun to figure out where it may go with some of my crafts for this upcoming holiday season. I also got this great candle light. More candles. I got this great candle light. This does plug in, and it looks kind of primitive and everything. What I love about it is this great red bulb in it. And actually, I'm going to be replacing these bulbs. I got this one from the recent estate sale that I went to, and I really love it. I love this look of these fake candles, and it's just very, very vintage. They sold this for $8, and then they did 20% off of that. But what I do want to pick up is some light bulbs that look just like this one. When this lights up, it's that kind of red fake lighting that vintage Christmas kind of has with it. These are blue, which I'm not feeling. So we're going to get some new ones that are going to mimic this so that I can have a bunch of that type of lighting everywhere. But I really love these. This was only 99 cents. Ohio continues to impress and come out in first for thrift. I get that this was from an estate sale, but $8. It still wasn't hit double digits, so that's how I justified it. But both of these will probably be going in different areas throughout my house. I especially like this one possibly for my vintage area because, both need plugs, and that's another thing. It's like, well, I've got to figure out how to do all of that. But we'll see, and we'll come cross that bridge when we come to it. Let's now get into the big box store items that I have. There's not a lot of them, but they are really big for the themes that I'm doing this year. So for our last two items, both were either from Walmart or Hobby Lobby. Now, I have my personal issues with Hobby Lobby as far as their politics and everything, but one thing that I will say is that when it comes to Christmas, they usually have a couple of figures that really are it, and it's currently 50% off, so it's very hard. I went in there just to kind of get the Christmas feeling going because I already knew that they had it out because they're always one of the first to have it out. And I found two figures with an offer I just couldn't refuse. And so here we are, as always with capitalism, having issues between morality and a great product. That's out the way. I know it. Please don't tell me in the comments, because I've had people tell me, even last year when we did the Hobby Lobby stuff with Christmas in July, and I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate those things, alright? Let's just start with them and get it out the way. Look at this bust. Look at this Santa bust. I went back to Hobby Lobby recently and they were sold out of these. Now, when I went to Hobby Lobby, they were literally, the boxes were out for them to start putting it up. And there were just a few things on the shelves, and I texted my partner and I told him, like, would he pass as going to Noche Buena dinner? Because one thing that is interesting about Hobby Lobby's Santa Clauses in their figures, sometimes they paint them a little bit darker. So they're a bit racially ambiguous. Now, this one definitely is giving a bit more, I'm light-skinned tan. I just spent a couple of seasons in maybe Puerto Rico while I was on vacation from the holiday season, rather than full on absolutely. And that's what had us kind of stuck. What I will be doing is doing a little bit of dry brushing just to tan him up a little bit. But I really, really loved this figure and how he was kind of molded as well. Like his little nose and everything really sells it, and is the possibility to paint it. Because that's another thing that sometimes I run into with painting holiday figures is sometimes you can get away with it and sometimes you've just painted the figure. And that's something that's important when it comes to painting holiday figures, is simply going, oh, I can just paint it. Sometimes it just doesn't translate. You're just like, that doesn't still look like that's who you're trying to paint it as. And one thing about some of Hobby Lobby's Santas and how they kind of make them look, they are a bit believable for you to go, do you just need a little bit more time in the sun, as far as especially collecting for my partner who is Latino. That is one thing that is a huge issue. I think, you know, as much as I talk about there are not enough like people of color and Black people in Halloween decor, and it is a slow, arduous process, I will say, as far as Christmas is concerned, we actually get a good amount of how, like, not as much as, you know, but we do at least get some angels and some figures here and there that really are holiday specific and are made to be like people of color. But as far as like finding like any Santas or anything that are like Latino based or something that aren't wearing a poncho or aren't, you know, just simply I'm Christmas and I happen to be racially ambiguous, it's so hard. So when I find any figures that are even close, I usually try and snatch them up. This was one of those purchases. Now, he was originally $60. $60. He was, when I bought him, 40% off because they hadn't did 50% off yet. So I was willing to pay that much for him. I think I ended up paying like $30. 30, I think, or something. No, that's half off. Probably like 35 or somewhere around those lines. Point is that I got him for the price that I was willing to pay for him. I love this base that has like all this holly around it, and it really is cute. I'm going to brush him up a little bit, just slightly, and he's going to look really great. Probably, really, I feel like he'd fit in any section because I still feel like this still is upon like kind of the 90s Christmas look. He fits really anywhere, and that's another great thing is that he's versatile. So I don't have to worry about like, oh, this only worked for this theme this year. So that was one of the things that I got from Hobby Lobby. The second item I got from Hobby Lobby this year was this Santa. And again, he very much, my partner was like, no, he looks like he's sitting at the table at Noche Buena. And again, as you see, like, it's that build of his face that really kind of feels like, I don't know if he's just white. And even last year when we got one of our figures and we thought the same thing, we were just like, I think we can get him. I don't think he's white. And we had found also a Black Santa that was really great. I have not seen any figures that are Black Santas this year, unfortunately, at my local Hobby Lobby. I don't know what that's about, but we will see. But I did love this one. He has like this little list and everything. I think actually my Black Santa from last year also is carrying a list, so I don't know if maybe I'll place them next to each other or in a certain area or what, but I did love how this one looked. This one was $36.99 and I got it 40% off. So again, when I bought both, I don't know the exact price for both of these once I bought them on the sale, but I know that it was like $56 once she rung me up for both of these. So really happy with both of them, and I think they're going to look cute in really any area that I choose to put them in this year. Walmart, these are our last two items. First, light up, multicolored jumbo light strand. Now, this is LED operated. You can plug these in. And what is great about these, let's see if I can get the top off of it, is that they look, okay, lift them out of here. They look just like strands of multicolored light bulbs. This will be going in my 90s watch Home Alone area. I'm not usually a big fan of the colored lights, but considering the theme this year that'll be around my watch area, I had to go with the colored lights. Colored lights took over the 90s. Absolutely. And so I am allowing colored lights to be in this house this year for that area. Any other time, I'm like, no, we're not doing colored lights. We do warm white light in this house. Always. But I also didn't want to pass these up. These were 24 bucks. And while it was a tad bit pricey, seeing how large these are and really having a clear idea of where they would be going, which is going to be underneath my television, kind of swooped, I really had to get them because I love the idea of having these jumbo-sized lights in that area. I felt like this would also be great if, you know, around our arch that we have leading from our TV area into our dining room area, our living room area into our dining room area. I just think that these look really great for archways to build into, like, near on your ceilings. They market it to go outside, which I think would look great. Even I was like, if they were marked down, far marked down, I think they would be really cool. Like if you were to decorate your trees in front of your yard, kind of like they were Christmas trees using these lights. I think that'd be adorable. And I think they're really great, honestly. I think even the build on them really looks like they're Christmassy, and they're not glass, they're tempered plastic, so they are built pretty well. A little scratched up, just a tad bit, but I'm fine with that. They had even bigger sizes of these, like bigger than they were probably about that big. And I considered even getting those for a second, but they're made of a thinner plastic. These are higher quality than those are. You can go check them out at Walmart to see for yourself, but those are way less, like, I want to say that plastic they were using for that is stuff that they use on, like, not even Tupperware. Like, it was really thin plastic. They all had dents in them, and they were selling each one of those for about $7 a piece. And I just didn't see the payoff when you're getting 8 of these lights, which are higher quality, and as opposed to the really, really big ones of that. I mean, again, I would see those going outside, but those also had outlet plugs, and it was just one. So, I don't know. I would love to see how anybody uses those. They just weren't as good of quality. If they were maybe at a higher quality as these, I would have considered them more. But this was the better payoff. And I'm so excited to have these and to see these really... I think getting these really got me excited about the 90s Home Alone theme that I was going to do in my watch area, because I needed to find something that felt like a basis, like something that really made sense. And this felt like that was that item that really kind of went, oh, okay, color. We can do color. It's okay to do color. Color is okay. So these are going to be going in that area. The last item that I'll be showing in this long haul are these from Walmart as well. I really love these. These are probably going to go in my vintage shelving area. And they're these Christmas candles that are blow molds. Now, Walmart is currently selling ones that look like this that are like, they're probably like 2.5 to 3 feet tall. Absolutely love the look of them, like the shape of them. They're covered in glitter. And they're like $24 a piece. If they weren't covered in glitter, they might have gotten me, to be honest, because I really love the idea of those on either side of my television. But the glitter was just, it was coming off. It just wasn't nice. I don't like the look of it. It wasn't working. But they were also selling these. These were, I believe, I can't remember. It was either 14 to $20. 20 being the highest. They weren't over 20 because I remember they were cheaper than these that were 24. So, what I loved about these is that they were marketed to be used outside, but they could also be used indoors. I still have the stakes for them because they're pathway markers. They're supposed to be used in your pathway. Now, what I loved about this, they're LED and they come with a battery pack. That's what they look like turned on. So these are easily usable for indoors, wherever you may want to put them, whether they're going on your coffee table, I thought about that, or in your windows. There was a possibility of that happening, but I really love the idea of also putting these near the top of my shelving, so you wouldn't see all this wiring. And they're battery operated. One thing that's sometimes an issue with these are that they're all... And I've spoken about this in length in my Halloween Decorate With Me video for my vintage shelves and with the Lemax houses. The plugs are a pain because who just has all these plugs sitting around their house and in these different levels so that you can plug these things together. Make battery packs like the norm so that I can just place this wherever and I can light it up wherever I want. I just gotta hit this little button. I love that. They have some of these in like the light marker stakes as well. But these again are they were like plugins. They weren't these battery operated ones, which is annoying because obviously you can do it. And I wanted to use them indoors as well. Again, because they didn't have the battery pack, that wasn't really a possibility. But with these, I absolutely can. And I love, like, they just look very vintage. This little, I mean, down to, like, this little flame portion up at the top where they just kind of airbrush a little on the tip there. And it looks like a blow mold. It feels like an actual blow mold, not just simply, I don't know. There's a feeling of vintage blow molds as opposed to, like, the new stuff. And even how they paint it and everything. And so this really kind of gave that vintage feeling. And I'm excited to put these in my vintage area on my shelves this year. That is it for this long haul, this extravagant, massive Christmas haul to get the season started. There will, of course, be more holiday hauls as we continue, and especially as I build out this theme and the many themes around my home, especially since some of those themes I really don't think I have anything for. But again, as we learned from the audit this year, or from my Halloween stuff, is you might have more than you think you do. Or you might have absolutely nothing, and you're worried about the wrong thing. So, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. I'm so excited for the holiday season. This will probably be my first year really leaning into a theme for the Christmas season that doesn't just feel like I'm putting up things that I just like around the house. And that's exciting because this year it was so much fun to decorate and put myself in this challenge of really hitting a theme instead of just having these things that I like. So you saw just a little tidbit of some of that today. I cannot wait to continue thrifting. For the Christmas stuff, we are really thrifting and estate sale shopping for the most part. As you know, Michael's and all of them start putting out some of their holiday decor, we'll of course stop by to see what they have, as we saw here. But I really do feel like in order to get some of these themes that I'm looking for, I'm not just going to find it at a big box store. Maybe like, you know, foliage, things that build a foundation. But for the most part, as you saw through today, this is all of my Christmas stuff. And even some of the Christmas stuff that I already covered that are in boxes, those are from estate sales and also from thrifting as well. So again, I just feel like the way that this is really going to work and how I'm going to pull off these themes is thrifting and estate sale shopping, which is exciting because that means that I can go looking for it. And one thing that I do notice is that while Halloween may not be showing in the thrift stores as often as it used to, at least Christmas is still there. I will say it's as much as it used to be either, but it's still trying to prevail. So at least then I know when I walk into a thrift store, I'm gonna find at least one thing that is Christmas specific. If all of that sounds exciting to you, to keep on watching holiday decor hunting, holiday crafting that's coming up, holiday decorating that is eventually coming up as well, then please subscribe down below and like today's video. I cannot wait. Let me know down below what is one of your favorite things about the holidays. This is one of my first videos that I'll probably be putting out that is extremely Christmas specific, and I would love to know what you guys are looking forward for the holiday season. So let me know down below in the comments. I hope to see y'all in the next one. Bye!